Our learning objective in RE today is to know what a covenant is. This half term we'll be learning about how Jews remember God's covenant to Abraham and Moses. Question: why are agreements, pacts, and promises important? Task: list a number of agreements, promises you have made and explain why you made them. Write them in your book. What are the consequences if you don't keep your promise? What are the bad things that would happen? Would everyone be happy? What can you do to help you remember to keep your agreement? What sort of things would you do, write down, or agree? Do you know God and Noah made promises? These promises are called covenants. They were very important. As you read Noah's Ark, can you find the symbol from God to say he would keep his promise or covenant? Look carefully, listen carefully. Noah's Ark. During Noah's lifetime, people were acting very wickedly. This made God unhappy. It made him sad because people seemed to be thinking more about themselves than God. Noah, however, was a good man. He loved and obeyed God, and God loved Noah very much. God actually loved all the people as much as he loved Noah, but at the time, only Noah was listening to God. God told Noah to build an ark, a big boat. So Noah followed God's plan and built a boat that was 1.5 football fields long. That's a huge boat. Noah's neighbors laughed at him because there wasn't any water in the desert where he lived. But God told Noah that a great flood was coming. Noah tried to warn the people to change their ways so that they could hear God too. But they wouldn't listen. They just kept on with their selfish lives. God asked Noah to collect 2 of the creatures of the earth and bring them into the ark. He also told the animals to find Noah, so it wasn't hard for Noah to gather them together. Pairs of each kind of animal were put safely inside the ark before it began to rain. Noah's wife and his 3 sons and their wives were also safe in the boat. When everyone was aboard, God shut the door. Noah and his family and the animals lived in the ark for 7 days before the first raindrops fell. Then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Soon the earth was covered with water. After it stopped raining, the water continued to rise for 150 days. The ark landed in the mountain range of Ararat during the 7th month of the flood. God sent a big wind and the waters began to evaporate. Noah and the floating zoo had to stay in the ark for several more months while the earth slowly dried out. Finally, Noah sent a raven out of the ark's window to look for land. The raven never returned. Noah waited another week for the water level to go down and then sent a dove to do the same thing. The dove couldn't find a place to rest, so it returned to the ark. Another week passed, and then Noah sent the dove out again. This time it came back with an olive branch. Noah now knew that the water was low enough for a tree branch to show. When Noah sent off the dove a week later, it didn't return. The dove had found a place to live on dry land. Altogether, Noah and his family and the animals lived on the ark for 1 year, 1 month, and 27 days. It was now time for all the creatures and Noah's family to move off the ark. Noah and his family and the animals needed to start life over again. After everyone left the ark, Noah prayed to God to thank him for keeping them safe. Suddenly a bright rainbow filled the sky. This was God's promise that he would never flood the earth again. What was God's promise? What symbol is sent from God to say he would keep his promise? The answers are, to question 1, what was God's promise? God would not flood the earth again. What symbol is sent from God to say he would keep his promise? A bright rainbow filled the sky. Remember to post your work online so we can mark it. Well done, everyone.